All right. Grand rising, baby, y'all. Look at y'all. Welcome to Breakfast with the Thomases.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising.
And we are the Thomases. Mr. Thomas?
Welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you. It is
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Mm, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so today is make it is Mental Wellness Monday, and we're hoping all of you on all platforms are doing your thing. You do not keep this here. You keep this where sound is. Let's go. What are you talking about?
Turn the line, just to be sure.
All right. Well, the volume is not the problem. So we are finally in a space where we're on everything.
Yes, and it's working wonderfully.
All right. And with that, we want to welcome everybody. We want to give you guys a couple of minutes to get in the room. We know some folks are trying to remember that today is a day for us.
Yes, yes, yes.
But today's message is quite urgent and quite important for us for the people that we speak to, which is everyone. This message has been created to make people aware of what is. I don't know. I know what you're getting on the news. I know what they said. But sweethearts, the game is up.
That's the understatement.
Okay. What we've been trying to share with people for the last few years, how to have assets outside or how to have finances outside of the system, has been short of the most urgent portion of your education ever. And why I say this, I want to share with you the video that's to come is to share with you all what's out there, what's happening in the world on the real, what's happening in the background we don't see, and what we are dealing with in real steps. So that you don't wonder, are they gonna, if they're gonna, are they gonna? We're gonna share with you, they already have.
There are no
So I say, Grand Rising, thank you so much for being with us, giving us your time and your attention. And we pray that we're able to give something to each and every one of you. And with that, we're about to get started. So just making sure all platforms. Oh, you are off of this one. You're gonna need to start that again.
Go ahead.
All right. So we're making sure all platforms are available for this content because it is crucial that we share this with everyone. I let folks know I did this years ago. We gave this information years ago on collective enlightenment under P2G. And when we were sharing with people, we were trying to sound the alarm of what was being done or what was being put together around our lives, our finances, and our freedom. And now we have come forward 4 years into the reality. Just to let you know, like they said, the screen is set or the platform is set, that stage is set, and they're ready to roll. My question is what we gonna do about it? Because you can't fight this. This is not a get up and the people fight thing. They already did it, and they got your permission by omission.
Omission, exactly.
So let's do it. We're gonna take a look. Y'all sit in, get some people out here. I'm trying to tell you what we're about to put down is so sinister. It's disturbing, but it's not a conspiracy theory. You can find this on the Federal Reserve Board website. You can find all the facts of everything we're talking about. I will show you the website.
And you know how you know it's sinister? Because they literally put it in black and white so you could see it. Because normally when they want
to... We're not telling the video.
When they
not
put
telling
it in
the video,
Mr.
No, Thomas.
The okie dokie then.
So this happened to all of us. And everyone who hasn't been preparing themselves is susceptible to the fall. And they know that. So we have to get ourselves together, y'all. Like I said, pull people on, send this link out as many times as you can because it will run. It's rare that our community read stuff like this, see stuff like this, and pay attention, and then go into action. Well, that's what's going down right now.
You guys on stereo, I know you can't see it, but listen clearly.
Listen closely.
And we'll get you, if you want to know more, we'll get you
We'll drop this video. I'm dropping this video. I did this last night in class. I do my presentations on presentations on Sunday nights. We dropped it for them. We've been dropping it for every community that we can get to, every meeting that we can get to, because you guys got to understand the reason for coming out of being prepared against the system that has changed over to control you. Let's go. It's time to get the video up.
It's funny because they waited right till the holiday time to do all this stuff. The closing doors.
All right.
Let's get in there.
So, like I said, This might trigger some people, and we want to let you know if you feel a little triggered, you feel a little certain kind of way. The people of Breakfast with the Thomases is always an advocate for mental wellness. We always have resources. Please reach out to us directly.
Yes.
You can reach out to myself on any one of these platforms. P2G Networks TV is actually an email. I want you all to be able to embrace a community of support. We do it. We are full service in this area when it comes to people, and we pray for you all. And as we move forward to grow, to build, and we want to make sure we keep this information moving amongst our people.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Okay.
And grocery store coupons.
Clapper,
That
get
letter
ready to
announced the
finish.
most
Wanna hear
significant
it.
change to American banking in
Sound. All right. All right, we're getting the sound together. For some odd reason, the only thing that didn't go was the sound. And
50 years. Everything about how your money moves through our financial system transformed overnight. But they made it sound like a routine service upgrade. Think about that stack of mail you get from your bank. Account statements, privacy policy updates, new fee schedules. We have all been trained to ignore these notices because they usually change nothing important. But this time was different. This time, your bank was telling you that your account was leaving traditional banking infrastructure and moving directly on to Federal Reserve rails. Let me paint you a picture of what actually happened. On July 20th, 2023, the Federal Reserve launched something called FedNow Service. This wasn't just another payment app or mobile banking feature. FedNow replaced the automated clearinghouse system that our country had used for over 50 years to move money between banks. 4 days later, on July 24th, Webster Bank customers received a letter announcing exciting updates to their accounts. Here's where the deception gets sophisticated. That Webster Bank letter spent most of its space telling customers what wouldn't change. Your account numbers stay the same. Your direct deposit keeps working. Your debit card functions normally. Access to 40,000 ATMs through something called MoneyPass Network. Sounds pretty good, right? Nothing to worry about here. But buried in the tiny print of the disclosure document attached to that cheerful letter was the real story. Your account would no longer settle payments through private banking networks. Instead, every transaction you make now flows through Federal Reserve master accounts. The federal government can now see every dollar you spend, every payment you receive, every transfer you make in real time. This follows a pattern we've seen before in American financial history. In August 1971, President Nixon announced that our country was temporarily suspending the convertibility of dollars to gold. He told Americans that nothing would change for them personally. Their paychecks would still come. Their savings accounts would still work. The grocery store would still accept their money. But everything had actually changed. We had just moved from sound money backed by gold to fiat currency controlled entirely by government policy. Now we're seeing the same playbook 50 years later. Major financial regime change disguised as service improvement. The difference this time is that banks aren't even asking for your permission. They're just informing you after the fact that your money now moves through government infrastructure instead of private banking networks. Pop quiz. When was the last time you read one of those banking disclosure letters? Most Americans never open them. The banks know this. That's exactly why they chose this method to migrate our accounts onto Federal Reserve infrastructure without public discussion or debate. Here's what should grab our attention about the timing. FedNow wasn't developed quickly in response to some banking crisis. The Federal Reserve announced this project back in 2019. They spent 4 years building the infrastructure, testing the technology, and preparing banks for this transition. This was always the plan. The only question was how to move American bank accounts onto Federal Reserve rails without creating public awareness or resistance. Webster Bank customers who actually read that July letter discovered something interesting. The bank spent paragraphs explaining new features like instant transfers and 24/7 availability. These benefits sound impressive until you realize that Venmo, Cash App, and Zelle already provided instant transfers. The speed wasn't the real upgrade. The real change was architectural. Your bank account transformed from a private banking relationship into a direct connection with Federal Reserve infrastructure. When you send money to pay your electric bill or transfer funds to your savings account, that transaction no longer settles between private banks. It settles through the Federal Reserve Master Account System. Think about what this means for our financial privacy. Before July 2023, the government needed subpoenas, court orders, or national security letters to access your banking data. Banks served as intermediaries who could challenge unreasonable requests or protect customer information. Now, the Federal Reserve processes your transactions directly. They don't need to ask anyone for permission to monitor your financial activity because they're already handling your money at the infrastructure level. But here's the part that should really concern us as Americans. That letter you didn't read in July 2023 didn't just move your account onto FedNow infrastructure. According to the terms and conditions buried in the disclosure, you also pre-approved the next phase of this transition. When the Federal Reserve launches central bank digital currency, your existing FedNow account becomes a CBDC account automatically. By the time you realized what happened, the migration was already complete. Your consent was assumed rather than requested. The infrastructure transformation that will enable complete government control over American money was accomplished through a routine banking notice that 95% of customers never read. The foundation has been laid, the pathway is clear, and most Americans have no idea that their bank accounts are no longer operating through traditional banking infrastructure. They're already connected to the Federal Reserve payment system that will become the backbone of digital currency control. Your bank didn't upgrade your account in July 2023. They transferred it into a government payment control system. The next phase is already planned. Let me explain exactly what happened to your money when your account moved to FedNow, because understanding the technical details reveals why this transformation matters so much for our financial freedom. Before FedNow, when you paid your mortgage or sent money to your kids at college, that transaction traveled through the automated clearinghouse system. ACH processed payments in batches during business hours. Your payment might sit in queue overnight or over weekends before completing. This seemed inefficient, but it actually provided important protections. Under the old system, payments moved between banks through private networks. If you sent money from Chase to Bank of America, those two institutions settled the transaction between themselves using their own reserves and relationships. The Federal Reserve provided oversight, but wasn't directly processing every individual transaction. Banks maintained some independence in how they handled customer payments. FedNow changed everything about this architecture. Your transactions now operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year through Federal Reserve infrastructure. Every payment you make settles instantly and irrevocably through FedMaster accounts. When you buy groceries, pay rent, or transfer money to savings, the Federal Reserve processes that transaction in real time. Here's where it gets concerning for our privacy and autonomy. Pre-FedNow, the government needed specific legal procedures to access your transaction data because banks controlled that information. Now the Federal Reserve sees every payment as it happens because they're processing it directly. They don't need warrants or subpoenas to monitor your spending patterns. They're already handling your money at the infrastructure level, but the real revelation comes when you understand what FedNow was actually designed to accomplish. This wasn't about making payments faster for consumers. Venmo already provided instant transfers. Square Cash already enabled immediate payments. The technology for fast digital transactions existed years before FedNow launched. The Federal Reserve built FedNow to prepare our banking infrastructure for central bank digital currency. Every feature of FedNow aligns perfectly with CBDC requirements: real-time settlement, direct government processing, irrevocable transactions, and centralized control through Federal Reserve master accounts. Think about the timing. The Fed announced FedNow in 2019, but took 4 years to launch it. Why the delay? They needed time to ensure that CBDC transition would be seamless once FedNow infrastructure was operational. Your account migration in July 2023 was actually the first phase of CBDC implementation. Here's how the adoption strategy worked. When FedNow launched on July 20th, 2023, only 35 early adopter banks went live immediately. But the system was designed to achieve rapid adoption through correspondent banking relationships. When large correspondent banks adopted FedNow, all the smaller banks they serviced were forced to follow. Webster Bank provides a perfect example of this dynamic. They use Fiserv for payment processing. Fiserv became a FedNow early adopter and partner. Through Fiserv's MoneyPass network, over 2,000 financial organizations gained connection to FedNow infrastructure. What appeared to be individual bank choices was actually coordinated infrastructure transformation. This is why that letter emphasized MoneyPass benefits. Access to 40,000 ATMs sounds like a customer advantage, but MoneyPass is actually the bridge connecting local banks to Federal Reserve infrastructure. Your bank was telling you about ATM access while hiding the fact that your account was moving on to government payment rails. The irrevocability feature of FedNow creates another level of government control that didn't exist under traditional banking. When you send money through FedNow, that transaction cannot be recalled once it's completed. This differs fundamentally from ACH payments, which allow reversals, and credit card transactions, which enable chargebacks. Why would the Federal Reserve design a system without reversal mechanisms? Because irrevocable transactions give government unprecedented control over money movement. They can seize funds, freeze accounts, or redirect payments without the ability for banks or customers to reverse those actions. When emergency powers are declared, FedNow infrastructure enables instant, irreversible financial control. But here's the most significant aspect of this transformation. FedNow infrastructure allows the Federal Reserve to deposit digital dollars directly into citizen accounts without bank intermediation. When CBDC launches, the Fed won't need to work through private banks to distribute digital currency. They already have direct access to your account through FedNow rails. This capability fundamentally changes the relationship between citizens and government. Throughout American history, banks served as intermediaries who could protect customer interests, challenge unreasonable government demands, or provide financial services independent of political pressure. FedNow eliminates that intermediation layer. Your account now operates as a node in a Federal Reserve payment network, rather than a private banking relationship. The infrastructure exists for the government to control your spending, monitor your transactions, and restrict your financial choices in real time. They built this capability into the system architecture rather than your individual account features. Most Americans who received those July 2023 letters had no idea they were pre-approving CBDC transition. The terms and conditions buried in bank disclosure documents included language authorizing account migration to enhanced Federal Reserve services and digital payment innovations. Legal language that sounds routine, but actually covers CBDC implementation. When central bank digital currency launches, probably sometime between 2026 and 2027, existing FedNow accounts will become CBDC accounts through automatic conversion. Banks will send another letter explaining exciting updates to your digital wallet features. But the infrastructure change already happened in July 2023. Your bank account didn't just get new features, it was restructured from private banking rails to Federal Reserve infrastructure. This transformation was planned in 2019, implemented in 2023, and completed before customers realized what happened. The pathway to CBDC is now operational. By accepting terms in that letter most people never read, Americans pre-approved the next phase of financial transformation that will eliminate monetary privacy and enable programmable money control. Now that you understand how FedNow restructured our banking infrastructure, let's talk about why this transformation happened and what comes next. Because the real purpose of FedNow wasn't to benefit consumers. It was to prepare our financial system for total government control through central bank digital currency. The Federal Reserve didn't build FedNow to compete with Venmo or make your payments faster. Those problems were already solved by private companies. The Fed built FedNow to establish direct relationships with American citizens, eliminating banks as intermediaries between government and your money. Here's the timeline they're following. In 2023, FedNow infrastructure launched and account migration began. Throughout 2024 and 2025, adoption accelerates across our banking system through correspondent bank relationships. By 2025 or 2026, the Federal Reserve will announce CBDC pilot programs, probably starting with government employees and federal contractors. The commercial CBDC launch will begin around 2026 or 2027, presented as a natural evolution of the digital payment improvements you've already experienced through FedNow. By 2027 or 2028, major transactions will require CBDC usage. Traditional cash and private digital payments will be restricted or eliminated entirely. This is where the programmable money control becomes reality. Central bank digital currency isn't just digital dollars. It's money with government code built into every transaction. The Federal Reserve can program spending restrictions directly into your CBDC wallet. Money that expires if you don't use it quickly enough. Purchases that can only be made in certain locations or for approved categories. Savings that automatically transfer to government accounts during declared emergencies. Think about what this means for your daily financial decisions. Right now, if you want to drive across state lines for vacation, buy a gun for home protection, donate to a political candidate, or purchase items the government considers unhealthy, you can use cash or private banking to maintain some privacy. Under CBDC, every transaction is monitored, categorized, and subject to programmed restrictions that you cannot override. The Federal Reserve already tested these control mechanisms through COVID-19 pandemic programs. Emergency rental assistance that could only be used for specific approved expenses, stimulus payments that expired if not spent within certain timeframes. CBDC will make these restrictions permanent features of our monetary system rather than temporary emergency measures. Why did banks cooperate with this transformation? They didn't have a choice. The Federal Reserve required infrastructure modernization as a condition of continued operation. Banks that refused to adopt FedNow would lose access to Federal Reserve services, effectively forcing them out of business. This wasn't market competition. It was regulatory mandate disguised as voluntary upgrade. FedNow serves as the testing ground for real-time settlement technology that CBDC requires. Every feature that makes FedNow function properly also enables central bank digital currency operation. Instant irrevocable transactions, direct Federal Reserve processing, 24/7 availability, and centralized control through master accounts. But here's what should concern us most as Americans. The exit path is already closing. Before CBDC implementation, you could move money between different banks, use cash for privacy, or choose alternative payment methods to maintain some financial autonomy. After CBDC becomes mandatory, you cannot move money without government approval because spending restrictions are built into the digital currency code itself. Cash elimination will accelerate during the CBDC transition period. Physical currency will be portrayed as outdated, unsafe, and inconvenient compared to instant digital payments. Businesses will be incentivized or required to refuse cash transactions. Banks will charge fees for cash deposits and withdrawals. Eventually, paper money becomes practically unusable even if technically still legal. The perception management strategy worked perfectly because most Americans never understood what was happening. 95% of bank customers didn't read those July 2023 disclosure letters. Of those who did read them, 90% didn't understand the infrastructure implications. The money pass. ATM benefits distracted from the fundamental change. Complex financial language obscured the transformation. By the time the public realizes that their bank accounts operate on Federal Reserve infrastructure designed for CBDC implementation, the transition becomes irreversible. Alternative payment systems are eliminated. Cash usage is restricted. Private banking relationships are converted to direct government accounts. Here's the control architecture they've created. In 2019, the plan was announced through FedNow development. In 2023, infrastructure launched and account migration began. In 2026, CBDC pilots will start with government workers. In 2028, traditional money becomes essentially obsolete. By 2030, full digital currency control is operational throughout our economy. Under this system, individuals have zero financial autonomy. All spending becomes subject to government code rather than personal choice. You cannot buy prohibited items, travel to restricted areas, save beyond approved limits, or donate to unapproved causes. Your money obeys government programming rather than your decisions. The most disturbing aspect of this transformation is how it was accomplished without public debate or democratic approval. Americans didn't vote for FedNow. Congress didn't authorize CBDC implementation. The Federal Reserve simply built the infrastructure, migrated accounts through routine banking notices, and prepared for mandatory digital currency transition. Your bank account didn't just change in July 2023, it became a node in a government payment control system. The infrastructure already exists. The pathway to CBDC is complete. Your agreement to FedNow terms was the authorization mechanism. When CBDC launches, the transition will be presented as necessary, inevitable, and safe for consumers. By then, alternatives will be eliminated, cash will be restricted, and digital money will be mandatory for economic participation. You won't have chosen this outcome. The letter U didn't read in July 2023 made this choice for you. The financial regime transformation is locked in. FedNow didn't upgrade your banking. It prepared your account for total government financial control. The infrastructure exists. The legal authorization is complete. The timeline is operational. Americans moved from private banking to Federal Reserve payment rails without realizing what they approved. The foundation for programmable money control was built while we were distracted by promises of faster payments and more convenient banking. The transformation happened quietly, efficiently, and irreversibly. Your money now flows through government infrastructure designed for central bank digital currency implementation. The next phase doesn't require your permission. It's already authorized by terms you accepted in July 2023.
Before we did.
Now.
Oh, man.
All right.
Let me tell you. Is this not serious or is this not serious?
It is quite serious. It is quite serious. That was a playlist from last night's class, and was just wanted to share with you all this information. Now, while this is Mental Wellness Monday, this is meant to help you to gain power with things that you've been wondering in the background. People kind of been feeling like control. If and let us know if you've kind of been feeling like there's something controlling how things are going for you, because there is.
There's no say under your finances.
And I'm really sad to say this, but it's just inevitability. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, conspiracy theory, they out there trying to talk about this stuff that's not happening. Baby, I've been doing the research and reporting this to our community for the last 5 years, since 2019. We did our research 2019. 2020, we started our collective enlightenment program, started doing talk shows like this in the evening for people to get on board. But everybody's been so busy chasing dollars. Y'all got kids, you got time, you don't got no time, y'all got no money. All of this, oh, it ain't my money, I don't have no bank account, baby.
It's the same two things. No time, no money. No time, no money. That's what keeps you in the system.
That's how they got you. They got you to not read because you're too busy. And now your lack of reading, your lack of disagreement has given them permission to put you on the rails of. And people go, what can we do now? That's why we've been teaching digital financial literacy. We have been teaching you to have alternative pathways to finances.
And if you didn't notice, they said the door is closing.
It's not closed yet because the CBDC program isn't here. Did you all see what happened with the food stamps? With the SNAP system?
Oh, that was ridiculous.
That is an exact example of how this CBDC works with all your money. They get to control it. They turn it off, they turn it on. And if they don't like what you got to say, they shut your account down. You send any kind of negative, because negativity is not, it's not a good thing, right? Sending negative messages and not liking what the government is doing. The people now controlling your finances.
You no longer have an opinion.
You don't have the rights that you keep talking about. Now, while we teach y'all ain't got rights anyway, they're just going into full work on that. They're putting it into full path. They finally figured out a way to keep you from getting out.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get out before they lock you in. Guys, I'm not out here peddling financial literacy. I don't have to do that. You already know you're missing something. My question is when is y'all going to sit down and handle your business? because your business is being handled by a group of people you never seen. Everybody goes, Democrats, Republicans. You really think that's who's pulling these strings? My love, the Democrats ain't got nothing to do with how you get food on your table. Neither does the Republicans. Oh, and all my MAGA lovers, all my MAGA people, you too, boo-boo. There's no name or group of people who are exempt from this list.
All.
Except, because wealthy people understand that they need to have a foot in all areas. That's why we teach diversification of portfolio. We don't teach you to get, them crypto people, baby. No. Don't get it twisted. We teach diversification of assets. We teach you to identify multiple asset classes so you have your hands in different places, including seeds, water, energy, all of it. None of it's limited. This is not something new for P2G. We've been having these discussions for years. Now, what happens is I'm wondering if the people who got some of that foundation realize that there's more to come. A lot of people get little bits of information, and what they do.
They do nothing but they put it in their pocket. It's like having a paperweight on your desk. Oh, we know this, okay, and then they wait. When you don't take an action with the information that you have, it's as good as having a piece of paper on your desk that you never looked at.
Yeah, it's like not having it at all.
And they appreciate when you do that because that makes it like that much easier. We were talking about the July 23 notices that the bank sent out. The bank sent those notices out not because they wanted to, but they had no choice. They had no choice in the matter because guess what? Banks are a business. And if the banks have no business or they have access to no money, then
they don't have a bank.
They don't have a business.
So everybody's not my bank. I have a credit union. You too, boo-boo.
Credit unions are funded by the larger banks.
Oh, no, it's not. It's credit by the people. What do the people use? My baby, who do you think sanctioned those we used to sanction the transactions back and forth because credit unions have to do business with other banks, and now they don't. They don't, since there's nobody else for them to do business with, but put you on the rails.
That's it.
So when I'm talking to you all and I'm sharing this, I don't want you to believe me. You're not here to believe in Miss Ruby. You're not here to believe in Alvin. You're not here to believe in P2G. You want to get information and go verify that. Or if it's wrong, come back and say, you lying.
Please come back.
Please come back. But see, I tell everybody, when you're going to call me a liar, you better bring some documentation because I'm going to bring mine. I'm going to show you exactly. Give me 1 second. I got you. Because today is going to be a little bit of a tutorial. Apologies for those who don't have a visual. We are going to try to share this as much as possible with everybody as we can. Okay. I'm trying to let you all know it's all verifiable. Go to the Federal Reserve website. That's what y'all need to do. Go to the people who actually doing this. Because to be honest, it's all there. It's right here. As a matter of fact, come on in. All right, let's go. Here we go. So right now, okay, I'm gonna put myself in a small spot so y'all can see this. Right now, we were talking about how the money is going to be less and less and less, right?
Yes.
Well, this is on the Federal Reserve site, and this is their yearly data plan for printing. Historical printing orders. I remember the first time I saw this list, I was like, wait, what? What's going on? All right, so let's take a look. These last two lines, so all of this is from 2017. Let me see, is that 2017? Yep, 2017. All the way up. Y'all got to forgive me because my screen is really, really small here. I see it kind of on the small side. So let's take a look. Oh, my bad. All right. From 2017 to 2026. So already the print orders for 2026 are out.
Yes.
See that? Now, so far, as y'all noticed, it's been kind of up and down in certain areas, certain bill denominations. 1 year they printed more. These are the hundreds at the top. They had a bunch of hundreds and a bunch of tens, and they lowered the printing in the other areas, like the ones. These were two. These little green line is $2 bills, and that's at 2021. Understandable. Why? Because it followed 2020, which hit us hard. So of course you needed more dollars, more bills, more smaller denominations out there because you got to get it to more people. Got it. That's just cash, y'all. We're not talking about what's on the books as just numbers. So then we move into this chart. Next year, we printed a little bit lesser. We brought down the number, a few numbers down. We didn't really expand certain areas. So
Wow.
you're seeing the numbers and the colors go up and down. I'm starting to see us chunk down in 2023. We chunked down on all areas.
Yep.
All areas in this bad boy went down except the $5 bills. Don't ask me what's going on with the fives, y'all. 2023 fives, I heard are very, very interesting. So check them out, find out what's going on with that. Right now, I'm not promoting collectors. There's a reason I'm not promoting collectors. I'm trying to help y'all get quantity. If you playing the collector's game, you're going to pay a high premium to collect something that may have a higher value when we have more scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
So I never promote the high value first over quantity.
Absolutely.
And I'll explain. So we move into 24. Of course, money printing went up in all areas. The ones went up. We had $2 bills in 24. They had more $2 bills in 24. Crazy, right? That's interesting. $2 bills are printed. Then we have our $5 bills kind of came down. Then we have $10 bills. We got a little extra the next year for that 24. We got a little something in the 20s. We got very little in the 50s, and the hundreds kind of stacked up a little bit. They kind of stayed at that level for printing. Guys, remember, they're printing this stuff.
Yep.
They are printing this stuff. Now you move into 2025. That's this year. The hundreds literally went down by more than half. Large bills. The ones stacked up about maybe a quarter over last year. Then we have more $2 bills. So something about those $2 bills are going to be pretty special. Just to give you a heads up. They're already special. Y'all know $2 bills are scarce. But you're still moving into that space. If you got them in your wallet, don't spend them. We got fives catching up, tens reducing. You know what this means for the money printing? Oh, by the way, no more 20s this year. I mean, yeah, for this year, no extra 20s. No, anybody notice that ATMs are kicking out $20 bills?
That's all they're kicking out.
That's what they kick out mostly. And that's the money they chose wasn't going to get printed this year. Don't worry about it. 20s have been printed every year. Notice that? This year, didn't get any. Now, let's go into what's intended. Because everything has gone down considerably on all areas, except for, I believe that's the five. Is that the fives? No, that's the fives. That's the fives. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. The 20s got printed, but no 50s got printed this year. That's the number. We're working on a color graph. No 50s got printed this year at all. They didn't print any new 50s. They got a few hundreds, and let's move it over, right? So next year, the intention is we're going to print less. We have no twos. We have less ones. We're going to get some fives. We're going to get some tens. We're going to have a few more. We're going to have actually a few more 20s. We're going to get a few 50s and less hundreds. That's next year, y'all.
Absolutely.
The whole graph went down.
But you notice they just said this year that with the QE tightening, they're about to increase the printing. So all they're going to do is print next year's stuff year.
What's going to happen is that number is going to, this is going to be subject to changing because of conditions. My loves, we would think that the tightening, this is all that tightening they're talking about, that coming down, and we do this in this year, and that tightening is here. It has just ended.
Yep.
So this intended for next year just changed. That means they're putting more finances in there so they can blow the system out.
Which means the value of what you fold in your pocket is going down as well.
Now, that's not one chart. That's just the one chart. That's what's happening with the money. They're getting, like I said, it's all about control. We need you all to trust us. We need you. We get to come through, put this good stuff in front of y'all and show y'all, look, this is what we do. This is what we got for you. And it changes your life. It changes your perspective. Oh, I got this. It makes you feel comfortable. And it lulls you into a false sense of security around the finances. The only problem is you can't seem to get enough of it to keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, oh my God, but I'm still broke. What's going on? Did the price of this went up? Then the tax of this went up. Now they're charging us for this. Now they're charging us for that. Yes, of course. Because what's coming? People are like, oh no, they said they're not going to do it. So let's go talk about what they are going to do.
Well, for the one thing you realize, the government will bit and piece you out of every set of finances.
Well, it's not your government, and I keep reminding
The
everybody.
government is wrong. The Federal Reserve, let's call it what it is.
Well, it's not even the Federal Reserve. I have to ask you a question. Who
Really?
runs our economy? See, controlling the money is one thing, but who you do business with?
Good question.
Who you think is safe right now? You think multi-billionaires are walking around with dollar bills and spending dollars in their pocket? You think they're hoarding dollars?
Not in the least.
I actually saw a video of Warren Buffett telling everybody, hold on to your cash. When that man don't have cash to save his damn life. So I know it was AI. Sweetheart, you got to know the game. We've got to start talking about the game on a regular. That's why P2G was created. It's not just a place for classes. It was created so we come to a place where the conversation shifts and then actions can be taken. The education space is there so you can do something with it. Many of y'all had talks about how you feel about this, that, and the other, and nothing came of that conversation. But you still walked away with the feeling like something ain't right. That's not how you leave our P2G sessions. That's not how you leave our community. And by the way, we ain't televising nothing. This is just information. When you get in the room, we get into work. We go to work. You come into the community. Too many people is like, we need the free stuff. Baby, stop with the free. We need to build. You need to have a stake in something. You need to have a stake in a community that's growing so that you're safe.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You guys have to learn how to secure your space. And right now, we're letting you all know. Time's up.
A lot of people say they're going to secure the bag. The bag has nothing to do with the stuff that folds in your pocket. The bag is about securing your assets and having them accessible in hand. So when you need to move and make a decision, you're not subjected to the shackles that are being placed on you and to the control mechanisms that are going into play this year, that are in play currently. Let me rephrase that are in play.
It's 2023.
Right now.
And people ask me,
and they're shifting into high gear. They're shifting that because when 2026 gets here, it is implementation time for all of the last minute door closings that they need to put in place.
Right.
And if you're inside the enclosure, there's no way out. There's no way out.
Now.
So you get out now or you don't get out at all.
You have to start your plan to move forward. People still think they're safe. Wealthy people have known about this. Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. They know this. That's why you watching them acquire more and more assets. You love to look at celebrities that are opening these business, that business, this business, that business. But guess what? They're acquiring assets. We've been teaching you to acquire assets in small increments and use systems to build up what you have so you can get hard assets out of it. So that you can have that store and supply. So that if stuff's shut down or, we can't get to it because we ain't trying to be up in that system, you still have barterability. You still have something outside the system. You have something that'll get you and keep you and your family safe. What you will not be able to do is go knock on someone's door and say, my baby is starving. Can you help me with food? Because they all in the same boat. They didn't listen either. You heard, you knew, but you didn't move. And now day 0 comes. And you guys are like talking like, I shoulda. Shoulda can't rule your future. You can't let shoulda, woulda rule your future. Look, I came to my class when I spoke last night. I spoke very clearly about some things that I was very clear to state. Myself, I dragged my feet. I ain't gonna lie. I knew this information. I have this. Part of what we do, it kind of got skewed because we didn't keep the focus of why it is that we need to move so that we could keep moving faster. So I know why I'm on this mission. I know why I'm acquiring some assets hard assets outside the system, stuff that I custody, stuff they can't nobody just come roll through. I don't care. You got to shoot me if you want mine, because I ain't playing with you. They can't just go in somewhere and get it.
Nope.
We secured the bag. And when we say secure, we secure it so that no one else has access to it. You understand? You guys are still playing the game thinking you're winning, and that's what they want you to think. That's why if you go to FedNow, let's go. I told you I don't play that. I'm a believer in show better than I can do. Before I could tell you, I could show you better. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. What's up? FedNow.
You guys on stereo, what we're doing right now, we're going to the FedNow app.
Do this on your own. Take it to use your technology right now. Go to the federalreserve.gov. We are in payments. Just type in the search bar FedNow. This is how I got my page up. There's no question of this. The FedNow service is a new service for instant payments built by the Federal Reserve to help make everyday payments fast and convenient for American households and businesses. That's on the Federal Reserve website, y'all. Banks and credit unions, thank you, of all sizes can sign up. You think they ain't already there?
They didn't sign it. They mandated them.
Thank you. There can be no one outside this system for it to work. And that came in 2023. If you didn't open your mail there, I would suggest check your email from 2023 from your banking system. See if it came. If you were set up for automatic payments or what is it? Your e-notices, paperless, then check it. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not saying could be or coming. It says is. We talk real language. Y'all know what is mean.
If you guys are one of the type of people who save all your mail and don't throw it out,
that's just
go
nasty.
back, check your mail, because they might be sitting in a bag.
It could be.
Because it's in a bag with the actual notice.
Keep it. Now look, why are we here? Why are we talking about this? Why is this important? Because this is a control system. This is the first portion of a control system they said they wouldn't do, that they weren't sure about.
Yeah, right.
Well, we told you years ago how it works. FedNow is like the infrastructure. It's the infrastructure. Let's use a simple word. FedNow is like the road. Remember the internet was created? When the internet created, was the internet superhighway? Well, guess what? FedNow is the superhighway for CBDCs. So when you got the internet superhighway, you got emails, websites, everything. Well, in this case, you get CBDCs in control.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about that, it being the superhighway of CBDCs, there's a difference. When you're at the bank, I'm going to be very honest, the bank was never your friend. You were in business with the bank to support them.
It's a business.
You're in business to support the bank. But understand me, there was certain protections that the banks put in place so to keep the Federal Reserve as an observation format so they can do stuff. Your banks used to have what was called the ACH payment system.
Okay, we're not going to get to
No, we're not. Let's not go there. But the banks used to watch each other's back. Now they have no choice. Your accounts go directly to the Federal Reserve
system
that
does everything for it.
And the Federal Reserve sees all your transactions.
Thank you.
And what makes that so devious or diabolical, for lack of a better word, is the Federal Reserve decides whether or not you can put the transaction through, or if you have a problem with the transaction, guess what? They can stop you from getting it back. There is no backseat.
Before we go there, because now we're getting into the advanced. Now we're talking CBDCs. See, currently it just controls the back and forth and observation. That's what FedNow was, to give them a central place for every account. That is what it does. It is one place where all your accounts, every bank, every account, you guys get this. Y'all can't get paid unless it come from a bank. Y'all get that?
Banks are onboarded.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're all onboarded.
So the system is already set to go. We're seeing bits and pieces of it play out. And you've got little tests happening. You guys already seen what happened with the people with their food stamps. I want you to imagine that being your paycheck. I want you to right now understand that's where your paycheck is sitting on a system very similar to that. and SNAP system is one system.
Yep.
And all those benefits, they're controlled by the state, right?
42
but
million
distributed
people.
by the one. And I'm just letting you all know one
42
thing.
million people.
It is already in the space, ready to take place. The question is where are we going from here? Because I'm not here to talk about doom and gloom and no actual answers. Because what is the answer? We come to you every week with ITM trading to talk about different having assets outside, having value outside the system, and taking care of that business now. Because as you can see, you're already in it. You have no choices here. But the ones that you look for, you have to look for options before the options get cut out, before it becomes illegal. Hey, right now, you can enjoy this game, but it comes to an end and it's going to create a new iteration of itself. It's just what happens. People don't like change, but you have to accept that change is a part of living. One of the reasons we call this Mental Wellness Monday is because we don't want to leave you with the problem, but we have to make sure that you identify that there is one and that we start to put steps together. We have a class this evening. This is class 2 of 1. And I'm sorry, this is 1.5 of class 1. And I want you guys to realize you're welcome to come to it. We do weeklies. We have a community. We have a community of people who communicate with one another and deal with our life realities.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all are out here kind of just figuring it out, and everybody thinks they're doing so great. But I want you to really sit down and ask yourself, does it feel like you're getting to your goals and that's an opening option? And while I want you to keep optimistic, how about you get some new information that pushes that goal a little further? Because until we get our head out of the sand about what's really going down, we just got our head in the sand. We can think what we want to think. And like I said, I'm not trying to make nobody come and believe in me. Look this up for yourself. Go to the same website, look up CBDCs and look up, and they'll tell you, oh, it's a possibility. We're looking at it. We're considering it. And these all kinds of things. They already exist.
We already did it.
They've already put them in place. FedNow ran its test in early 2023 and then completed the process. We did a show on that. 2023, we did a Breakfast with the Thomases on it.
Yes, we did.
Ain't that interesting? But sweetheart, let me tell you something. When is it going to be your time to wake up and take action? You know, I love that song from Sister Act. It said, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you're going to have to wake up and pay attention.
True statement.
That's not just a song. That's a statement for everyone's life. You're going to have to wake up and pay attention and take action. Stop talking about what this woman did and all the attitude, because in the end of the day, you the one still stuck in the hole. I'm still moving on because like I told you, this is not some business for me. This is my practice of life. This is how life works for me. I've learned that I live a purpose, and I'm finding others who are living purpose-filled lives, and we getting information we ain't never thought was going to be available.
Nope. And it's out there.
I'm learning stuff that I'm like, whoa, we could do that. And now we got skills, and I don't worry about when I wake up in the morning, who gonna pay me or how this money gonna come in, or God forbid, we on some kind of services, and depending on if I need to pay a private doctor to do his thing, we gonna get a private doctor go do his thing. Y'all get where I'm coming from? People ask those questions all the time.
It's funny. The wealthy have made one statement around this. You are not going to control all of my finances. They didn't say you weren't going to control some of them. You are not going to control all my finances.
And why would they leave some funds inside the system?
Looks good, don't it?
Doesn't just look good, baby. We teach y'all that. We teach y'all that when we teach you trust. When we come to class on Sunday, we talk about trust. We teach you that because you got to look one way on paper. Everybody, all broke people look good. They look good. They look very wealthy. All wealthy people look poor, and that's what they go for. They're trying to look poor. They always want to look poor, but all the broke people want to look rich.
I'm in the system with you. I'm in there with you. I'm in the fight with you. I'm dealing with it too.
Mm-hmm. They ain't dealing with it. They working it, and you are being worked.
And I want to share something with you, and maybe you don't realize it right now. the Congress and the Senate on paid vacation and did a bunch
How
of
they got people starving and they on paid vacation?
and
The very
people are going
Republicans that are
to
doing
work.
this
The people who are at work are working with no paycheck,
with no paycheck.
but you guys get to take a 6-week vacation with pay. How is that possible?
So we living in a weird day, baby.
Look, I'm just saying. And they announced it publicly. Oh yeah, y'all going on vacation, but you get a paid vacation. You can go look it up.
It's nasty, y'all. I'm just letting you know it's nasty. And I'm gonna be really honest. It ain't none of my business.
Nope.
My business is managing what is coming through my household, helping my family move forward, keeping us safe in times where people will try to come and get for you, including the government will try to come and get yours. How about you? Anybody else out there handling their personal business? And really, I mean, because everybody try to do it by themselves. Ain't that great? But I'll tell you this right now. The only way we stay strong is if we keep ours together and we connect with those who have that same thing going on.
Yep.
We cannot save anybody else. You got to remember that. You will never be able to save someone else. They have to do it for themselves. When you have people who are incapable of doing these things for themselves, that is the only one you make arrangements for. You understand what I'm saying? That's where our larger arrangements. And when I say incapable, we have several elders. Now that doesn't mean when you're building a community, everybody has purpose. Everybody's got purpose. There are people who are dealing with mental health issues who are on the spectrum. I'm not talking about the ones that are acting like, oh my God, I need help because I can't function. Baby, there's people out here that are working with terrible body conditions, terrible emotional conditions, but they still putting the work in. And that is what we need to be doing, working with those who are willing to work through this. Y'all get where I'm coming from? I'm not talking about, I'm not trying to tell everybody, oh, you get food stamps, there's no hope for you.
No, that's not the case at all.
My thing is that I've seen people build whole lives, businesses, and empires off of some food stamps.
Absolutely.
You know what your problem is? Is you told yourself something. And I'm here to tell you that that's a lie. It's in your head. The world doesn't see you that way. And everybody is waiting for you to see who you really are. They're not going to sit around and wait. But when they look in your direction, they're just looking for who you really are. And that's it. People are looking to make use of you. So you should be ready, creating yourself as useful. Just like I have every day. I have partners that have done this. They're making themselves useful every day. And guys, we're not going to finish this day out without giving some love to one of our amazing partners that has transitioned on. We got to make sure we give some love to Miss Teresa, who has transitioned on to her next iteration of this world to help to assist others in their journey from her heavenly incline. I'm letting folks know that woman was a believer, a lover, a mother, an auntie, a community leader, a trainer, a teacher, advocate, and I mean physical advocate. This is a woman who had physical disabilities who would go be seen, not just heard, seen, opening up doors, literally going in, opening spaces for people from her wheelchair. So I'm gonna tell you right now, we ain't got time to sit back and pontificate. We got time to get it together and move. So like I said, we invite y'all. Y'all come on out. This program has already started. It's come in Wednesday night. If you want to come in and check us out and come have this conversation, we got a community conversation. Get the link. It's right on the website. Come and find your people. Because until you find your tribe, you out there moving on your own. They're going to cut your head off.
Come check us out on
It's all the done deal. Check out P2G and the people who are making things making the change in all of this. Because ain't none of this going back for us. I'm sorry. We taking a one-way trip always forward and up. Learning from mistakes along the way and getting new and connecting with new strong powers of influence. That's how that works.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And with that, I want to say thank you for being with us. This is the top of the hour. Does anybody have any questions, comments? We got some folks out here. I got one person I want to I got to give her voice. My baby girl is in here, and this was kind of programmed. Shelby, come on up. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna try to make sure you get the sound for this. Sis, you got something to say? You want to let them know?
It keeps kicking me off of here, but
But you catch it before it happens.
hi to everybody. And for those that were experiencing anything with the SNAP being closed, just know that y'all are in our prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Us in Oklahoma, we still haven't gotten ours even the percentage that they said that we would get. So I know it's really hard for a lot of people here in Oklahoma. But just keep faith in it'll all work out. But just know, take this serious, because you know, if you didn't have anything left on your stamps from the month before,
Just a month.
it should be a wake-up call that we need to be smarter
Yep.
about having multiple sources of either income.
Hold on.
One
or
moment.
have had saved
Hold on.
otherwise, because that's what we're having to live off of now.
Okay. And thank you for that. At this point, we are going to come and close this program out. We are, like I said, the world has come in. It is now 9 o'clock. It's time to get to work. All right. I love you guys. I want you to all remember, connect in to p2gnetworks.com. Go to the website, check and see what's going on. We have activities all week. And for those who are in the New York area, we're getting ready to do a retreat we got invited to. I will be wanting to invite some of you. So if you're in the New York area, get in touch with me. We have a retreat, and just, you know, so it's going to be supporting this process along with what to do through it. I want you all to know also we have a Wednesday summit is going to be pretty much the same thing, putting together tools and around the rules that have changed. And with that, we want to say thank you. We love you, and keep the faith, y'all. It's going to happen. It's going to happen no matter how. But because you are here, you have a better chance. Come get this information, because it can change your life, and it will change mine. I'll see you soon, and I love you.